Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be going over how you could have caught this fake out bottom reversal setup here on the 4th of November on the S&P 500, and I'm going to be explaining why I first of all drew this level and then why it's interesting for me to trade off of that level. So let's get right into it. As you can see from the pre-market, we dropped a lot and we dropped right into this key level that I had of 6,787. Why did I have that level? Well, that was a previous resistance level, as you can see over here, of all these highs that later on got supported, and then we started rallying from there, and then we had that gap up. So that was a pretty significant level in my eyes. I wanted to see if price comes back to it, if price will support. So then a couple days later, price comes back in the pre-market. We have a massive sell-off of like 90 points, even 100 almost points. And then we bounced from this level and we had like a 30-point rally more or less. So that showed to me that buyers were still strong at this area and wanted to defend price. As you can see over on the left here on the footprint chart, it's obvious as well that buyers stepped in very aggressively, as you can see here at the bottom, with a B shape at the bottom of the footprint chart and then just a straight rally up. As you can see here on the bottom as well, this is a cumulative volume delta. A lot of aggressive buying stepped in and pushed price higher without almost any single pullback. So this area is very interesting to me. What I want to show you right now is as well my pre-market plan that I share every day on X, and you'll see as well why this area was even more interesting to me. I can't show it to you anymore right now, but the volume profile before market open, as you can see now, it's completely different. It's not low volume anymore because price has transacted at that area multiple times, so there's more volume now. But I can show it to you on my pre-market plan that I shared, and as you can see, this area made it extra interesting. So we bounced off of this key level that I had. Buyers stepped in very aggressively, very strongly, and left an area of lower volume right over here. So I'm thinking if price pulls back there and we defend again, and those same buyers want to defend those same prices again, well, that's going to be very interesting, and that was something I was watching. So as you can see here as well, dips around 6,800 to get defended with strong, aggressive, and passive buying to get long, targeting 6,820 and 6,827. And as you can see here, I share that every time half an hour or an hour before market open, just to have it out there and share my plan with the people that follow me. So now that we know that this area was a key level, then price bounced from there very aggressively, left an area of low volume right over here around 6,800. Well, that's going to be very interesting for price. If we pull back, we sweep out these little pre-market lows, this pre-market consolidation, and then we look for an entry if buyers come in passively and aggressively to defend those prices. Well, that's going to be an A+ setup to then target further highs like this one around the 20s. That's how I came up with the first target. The 20s is right over here, and then the 27s is right over here above these highs here, the other consolidation. There's all liquidity points, and as you can see, price just flew right past it and hit all of our targets. So now that we know which area that we want to trade from, why we're trading from that area, now we just gotta wait for the right confirmation. So if you got the context right, there's a massive sell-off from the pre-market, right? There's a massive sell-off from the pre-market, so that's already a little bit overextended move. Then it came to a key level of demand. Buyers did react from that key level of demand. Now we just gotta wait for market open. You gotta wait for the sweep of these little lows, and then for price to come back into that lower volume area that you saw on the pre-market plan right over here. Buyers need to come back to that low volume area, and they need to step in, defend those prices again. So that's literally what you gotta wait for. You gotta wait for all that criteria and then wait for the right confirmation as well, which we're gonna look at right now using the book map. So let's see the confirmation, right? So here we already dropped market opened and we dropped below those little pre-market lows that you just saw. And now we gotta wait for passive buyers to absorb all that selling and also aggressive buyers to step in to show excitement of wanting to defend that level, like you're seeing right here. This rally here is an obvious sign of a lot of aggressive buying stepping into the market, right? So we swept out those lows, we swept out this little consolidation here, and as soon as we swept this out, some bids got filled and all of the selling here is not getting rewarded, and a lot of aggressive buying is stepping in. So this area is very interesting, and we could say, all right, we're seeing the aggressive buying now, we're seeing that sellers are not really getting rewarded anymore. Let's see what it does if price pulls back to the range. Opposing structure right over here. I like structure points on the book map. So now we just gotta wait for more aggressive selling to get passively absorbed with bids sitting in this zone over here, like so. This bid here over here just got filled, and then rebidding all the time, every single time that price comes back to it. You see these bids popping up again. So now what have we seen now? We saw first reaction of buyers, very aggressive, very strong buying coming in. We saw selling coming in. We saw selling then giving that pullback with a lot of aggressive selling, but again, they're not getting rewarded. What does that mean in my eyes? They're getting absorbed by these bids, all these bids here appearing and then rebidding as well, just really wanting to defend this area, these prices as well. So they're passively absorbing all of this aggressive selling while aggressive buying is stepping in, also wanting to lift this level up and go to higher prices. So now this area is very interesting. I couldn't get in here on this pullback because the selling was a little bit too heavy, so I waited for one more pullback, which you're going to see right now. I'm going to put it in real-time speed, and I want to see a little bit of weaker and smaller selling on that pullback, because that for me is key to that get a good entry where I have a lot of confidence in. You can see again this bid here got filled. That's why the selling is so massive here, this bubble, but it's not going anywhere. It's not dropping, price is not going down, and I want to see weaker selling on the pullback just because to see less excitement of sellers, and also just to see them drying up and they have no more power to bring market down, and buyers are just have absorbed all of the selling that there was in the market and they're aggressively stepping in. So right now this here is a beautiful entry. As you can see, there's a lot of weaker selling as you compare it to this drop over here, or even every single drop that happened so far. Look at the size of these red bubbles, look at the size of these red bubbles. Then on this pullback, look at the size of these red bubbles. They're all massive. But then here on that last little drop here, trying to break this low, which it was unable to, the selling bubbles right over here at the low are so much smaller compared to these ones, right? And at the same time, it's trying to fill a bid, but the bid is just much bigger. As you can see, the bid is over 120 lots and the selling is only 7 or 11. So they're unable to break and fill that bid. That bid is just passively defending price, and then aggressive buying starts to step in. So this is a perfect entry signal for you right here. And if you then enter right here, you can very safely put a stop loss below the low here if you want to go a little bit aggressive with it, a 3-point stop loss, which in my opinion I like doing, because in my head, if we're already seeing that first reaction, we create our little zone from it to see what price does if it pulls back. Pulls back once, defends again, pulls back twice, defends again. If you're entering here and your stop loss is here, well, if price is going to come back down here, I wouldn't want my stop loss to be down here anyway, because I don't want this drawdown. I want to see these two defenses of those pullbacks work out anyway, because if it pulls back another time, I have less and less confidence in it. So knowing that if I have these type of confirmations for these bottom reversals, I like to be aggressive with it, because if it pulls back twice already and I'm in on the second pullback, I want to be aggressive with my risk so I can have bigger risk to reward. And if it's going to pull back another time, well, so be it. Either it's moved a little bit in my direction already and I'm break even, or I just take a loss on it and maybe I look to re-enter, but I will be a little bit less confident in that setup if it pulls back a third or maybe a fourth time, right? So I want to see these type of setups work instantly. Like, I want to see the buyers step in, I want to see the sellers get absorbed, and then I want to see buyers put pressure on that selling and then get a massive pump, because those sellers are in pain as soon as price is starting to move up again. So we're in right here at the 850s with a stop below the low here at 97.50, and as you remember, we're targeting the 20s to 27s, as you can see right over here from this scenario. So let's see what happens. I'm going to speed it up a little bit so the video doesn't take too long, but I would say as soon as we break this high over here, it's very safe to say you can go break even. It's a very normal break even, because if as soon as we break above this price here, well, why would you want to hold your position, maybe possibly going red? So as you can see, price just immediately reacted so aggressively. And here, as I zoom out, you can see as well on this pullback that weaker selling as well compared to all of the other red bubbles. So this pullback here really had no more sellers to break down price further and just got absorbed again by all this wall of bids over here. So I'm going to play price now again and see how fast it goes to our first target, which is the 20s, because we were in here at 340 for me, and right now it's only almost 3 minutes later and we're literally 3 points away from our target, which is the 20s. And as you can see, there's a big offer sitting here as well, so that's some liquidity sitting there above those pre-market highs. As I said, I'm going to speed it up just a little bit more just to get the video going. There we go. Our 20s got hit, and I think just shortly after, the 27s as well got hit. Look at this big bid here that popped up, which is then eventually going to defend price, and that is just a beautiful trade. Boom, 27s got hit right over here. So all targets got hit. Could take partials however you feel like, however you want it to do, but it's just such a clean trade. This is a textbook bottom reversal setup. You just trade from an area where you know buyers were strong, so they reacted up this level. You know buyers were strong, they left an area of lower volume right over here. As you can see, this is where we traded from, the 800s. They had left an area of lower volume, so if price comes back into there, you're expecting these buyers to defend that again. They're sweeping out these little lows, which is also liquidity, and then you're just waiting for that confirm, as I just showed you here on the book map, which is strong selling towards that level. You want to see those sellers get absorbed. You want to see strong buying step in the market to see the excitement at that level. Then you're waiting for pullbacks with weaker selling. For me, this one wasn't good enough, and then that second one here, as you can see, there's no selling at the low of this pullback. Passive buying just defended that, and as soon as aggressive buying steps in, well, that's your cue to get in that trade with a tight aggressive stop if you want. I personally do that, or you can also put it at the low if you want to be a little bit more safe or give it a little bit more breathing room, and then it just flies straight up to your target. You have a break-even trade in less than a minute almost, and that's just a beautiful bottom reversal setup. And another part of confirmation, that second pullback that I just showed you where you would have gotten in, well, left also a B shape here on the footprint. As you can see, that's also a nice extra piece of confirmation. So yeah, that's the trade, guys. I hope everything makes sense to you. If it didn't, let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe, share the video, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be sure to answer or even make a video about it. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.